Using things that you know your dog wants access to as reinforcers is a super powerful way of kind of leveling up your training. So if you're on a walk and you've got food, that's one reinforcer, right? But if your dog actually wants to chase a squirrel up a tree or wants access to a scent, you can use that to your advantage. Therefore, kind of beefing up what you have at your disposal, but also making potential disadvantages advantages. So using a hard change of direction is not a totally positive training tool, but for some dogs it's going to be a lot clearer than maybe you haven't had the opportunity because your dog does a lot of pulling, so you haven't really kind of met that reinforcement quota where you're starting to sort of break it down and your dog's starting to understand that walking with you versus against you is a thing or is better. So a hard change of direction means I'm going to turn away from my dog. I'm thinking this when I'm setting this up as point A to point B. So point A is our starting point. Point B is the place or a spot where my dog wants access to. So getting to point B requires that my dog walk next to me without pulling. I'm not going to use any food. I will use praise. But what I can say is if you pull me, we change direction and head back towards point A. If you're walking next to me and you're not pulling, we're getting closer to point B. Nope. Come here, bub. Okay, we've clarified that you want that. Ready, Mosh? Let's go. Good boy. Good job. So I'm doing a turn. Good boy. Nice work. Good job, buddy. Good job, Moosh. So he slowed up a little bit, so I'm going to use a get back in position to get him back. But now he pulled forward, so we're back to point A. Good boy. Good boy, mister. Nice work, buddy. Good job, bud. Good boy. Good boy. Ready? Okay. Good job. So when there was any sort of tension, I was turning away. When he was with me and I was praising him and he was thinking about moving forward but wasn't quite there, I would just ask him to get in position. So I was still not using any reinforcer other than that ultimate reinforcer of getting the rabbit toy. But as we approached any tension or moving away from me, got a hard turn, we went back to point A. Moving forward, I was just using praise, I wasn't using food. We move forward. If he was kind of like, oh God, there's going to be a certain point where it's going to gel for your dog, and you're looking for that moment because that'll tell you that your dog is kind of getting what's going on. This is great in the moment if your dog wants access to a squirrel, a smell, but also if you have certain directions. So a lot of people who use dog parks, their dog knows the way. So as soon as they start on that route, it's going to be a little painful, but if you start heading down that route, the dog pulls, you turn away. Your goal when you turn away is to get your dog kind of lined up and back with you before you return in the direction of travel, which is going to cause the pulling. This can be really clear to some dogs. For other dogs, it's not going to be a particularly great skill, but for some dogs, I think they are so comfortable pulling and they're so kind of checked out when they're doing so that this can be a really relevant tool to use.